Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name's Josh the RV Nerd. Actually, welcome to kind of Alliance RV. This is a building that they just purchased from somebody else and that they are renovating. They pulled a bunch of units in here because the space was open. It's driving them crazy that the background of these videos doesn't look great, but that doesn't really matter to me. I want to focus on the RV. This is the 310 Paradigm. It's mostly the same as it was last year, but they put, I think, a fairly significant update in the front bedroom closet and washer-dryer prep arrangement on this one. But if you've never seen this before, every manufacturer and their brother makes a floor plan like this, where it's a front bedroom slide, queen or king bed, stackable washer dryer prep. We've got, you know, a pretty sizable bathroom. This is a wide body coach. It's a 101-inch wide body, which means 8'5". So that is a factor right there. It does have more space in this RV versus a lot of other things by comparison. Some others are wide body, but not all. 6-point hydraulic auto leveling, upgraded pin box and suspension package. So despite its size, if you are looking for some towing and going, it is kind of made for that. It is also made, it could be gen prepped or actually have a generator installed. They have a super solar package available as well for some limited off-grid function. It's not an indefinite off-grid kind of package. Opposing living room super slides, both of which are floor flush, which is nice. Solid surface counters all the way through this thing. And just overall, very nice touches. Maximum campsite window coverage. I love the pivoting dining table. Big 20 cubic foot, I think 12 volt compressor fridge with an ice maker, which is rare from the 12 volt stuff. And just 100 other little things that we're going to cover on here, like optional paint packages. Every manufacturer and their brother builds a layout like this. So I want to show you the little things that Alliance does nicely, or perhaps at least different. And that might help you decide which manufacturer version of this floor plan you want to go with. And if you appreciate how we show you the ins and outs and ups and downs and good and bad, hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, we'll get in there. So for the most part, I don't want to focus on talking about the things that are the same between a lot of different manufacturers. I want to focus more on the things that separate this one and are not necessarily better, just different, because sometimes better also means more expensive. So it's not always just exclusively better. Like, this is a factory standard triple air. And a lot of people go, well, that sounds better. Sure. But it also adds some cost to the RV. You have two non-ducted air conditioners down here pumping every bit of their air directly into the kitchen and living room space. And with no ducting running through the attic, and the attic of the RV is very hot. Imagine getting into a car on a hot day and not having the air running. That's what the attic space of the RV is like. So most central air ducting is up there just baking. Well, if the air ducting is hot, then the air coming out of the ducting is less cold than it could be. So by having non-centralized air conditioners, they have maximized the efficiency. When they first did that, everybody laughed at them. I'm not going to lie. I was among that group because I was uneducated. And when I learned more about it, and when I talked to actual owners, I kind of started understanding the benefits. Now, the third air conditioner is a mini ducted system shared between only the bedroom and bathroom. And I get it. I just got done telling you how ducting loses efficiency. That's why they use as little as they can only between the bedroom and bathroom. So there's only a couple foot run up there. This is something that I personally like, the folding armrest on the theater seat. Now, you notice, like, a lot of people will look at the theater seat that's currently on the left side of the screen, and they'll wonder, is the island going to be in the way of the entertainment? It's not. You can kind of see how when I'm facing straight on, it's out of the way. I'll give you a look from the theater seat in a few minutes. This is, by the way, a power recliner. But if you do want a spot to set down a drink, or if you just need a little bit of separation, that's all there is. That's all it takes. And that is something that I like. I prefer that kind of, just give me the choice between having it open or closed. Because if you're, I'm not trying to shame anybody. If you're a person of a larger stature with that armrest down, your hips may not feel comfortable in there, like wedged into an airplane seat. Well, now you have the choice. You know what I mean? This is something else that I really like. And it's a classic feature that is making a bit of a comeback here. And that's just the simple pivoting, rotating dining table. This is not new technology. Montana's used to do that ages ago. A lot of fifth wheels did, and then they all kind of quit doing it. But it's a bracket, mounts against the wall, which means no knee knocker, which also means if you're like, there's a lot of people who feel zero benefit to a dining situation in an RV. So if you are one of those people, but let's say maybe you have pets. You could just take the chairs out and store them somewhere. I don't know. And then like make that a pet bed, a pet dish station or something. Now, by the way, with the tall ceilings, these have, I think it's a 6.5 foot or maybe just slightly more slide ceiling height. So even if you're my size, you stand up from the table. If you stand straight up and kind of stretch and arch your back, you're not going to knock yourself out. Like the little Sputnik light. There we go. We have something like that above my dining table at home. I didn't pick it. My wife did. I have no idea if it's cool or not. I just trust her vision of things. I'm like, it lights up. That's all I need. But I also like the crown molding, the kind of effect lighting that they have up there. On the back here, earlier in the flyby footage, you saw where I popped open this sleeper sofa. Remember, those side stands also have a little bit of storage in them, as does that floating ottoman bench. And what's kind of cool is, you know, you've obviously got the theater seating, but if somebody's back here, or if you just want to sit separately or stretch differently, it gives you another place to sit down and still have the ability to kick your feet up. I will say, I don't love the fact of how well I can see through these overhead. What's that? Is that reeded glass? Is that the name of it when it has the vertical? Is it fluted or reeded? I don't know. I suck with my HGTV terms, but guys, I'm trying. And I will say, it's not full view. It's opaque, but I don't like being able to see inside my storage, and it looks like disarray. I don't prefer the light panel back here either. It's pretty, but it just feels like wasted storage opportunity. And I feel like storage is too valuable to potentially waste, which is probably one of the reasons I like the Pantrytainment Center so much, because this is just a maximum use of space. Now, it has motion lighting, as you just noticed. On the back of the door are some kind of small pockets. I kind of call that like a spice rack, but some, like, I don't know, boxes of mac and cheese would probably go pretty nicely right there. The floating ottoman that we've seen a few times also has storage in it, which is kind of nice. But look at the bottom of the right-hand pocket over here. You see a power outlet. That is going to be there if you want to put in like a rechargeable stick vac or something. But having a place to like put brooms or Swiffers or umbrellas or anything like that, also very, very handy. Now, moving around from there, one of the cool things in this kitchen is the way that it's kind of, when you're standing in, it's pretty much symmetrical, like especially as you're facing the microwave and stove. But also, the way that the upper cabinetry kind of curls in and wraps around you. Now, that is a larger oven, and I'm going to get this drawer out of the way. But first, just Alliance is doing this in a lot of things, giving you like a silverware, flatware kind of organizer drawer in a drawer, which is handy. I think it really, again, maximizes the space and the function that you can get out of this thing. Working our way around over here, notice that you do have that. It's funny. The cabinet above the microwave, they didn't make gravity defying, but that one they did. Why they chose the one and not the other, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any real consistency there in my view of that. The pantry space over here also has motion lighting. I just haven't triggered that because I haven't been close enough. Those are also adjustable and removable shelves, and you do have a power outlet buried down in there. So if you have like a small little, I don't know, toaster appliance or something, you could put that in there, although I would recommend keeping it open to breathe a bit. Down below this little entry area, that's where your converter fuse box is. That will be travel accessible as well in case you need to change any sort of fuses. So if you're like my Uncle Gary and you blow a fuse, you're going to be easy to work on. He's not easy to work on, to be fair. He's rather high maintenance. Now, something I've done a poor job of talking about, and it's a very commonly overlooked feature on this 20 cubic foot 12 volt fridge, is right down here. Yon ice maker, basically. Drop some ice in that tray, get you some nice ice for your campsite. Now, that's also a tray that slides out, so you basically have like double freezer drawers in that thing right there. And I noticed somebody must have accidentally bumped the faucet and splashed some water around. Obviously, we'll never have a way of knowing who it was, but I'm sure they feel very bad about what they did. Moving on from there. This thing right here, these 3 big, deep drawers can be removed, and you will find dishwasher prep behind them. I almost said washer dryer prep just because it's such a common phrase, and I managed to catch myself. But they are. Don't like that. Okay. If I see something, I say something. I'm not going to intentionally, conveniently gloss over it. I won't say that I'm perfect. I don't always catch every single little thing, but that needs attention. That needs a little bit of work right there. Someone's going to say, well, how did it get out of the factory? I don't know. There's a lot of different moving parts in the equation. Something got missed. I don't condone it, and Alliance will get it fixed. Their back-end customer service is probably one of the very best in the industry. It's one of the reasons I've become such a fan of them. In a paradigm, you also will start to see your full day and night shades. And I swear, I feel like there's a cushion for the back of that floating ottoman bench right there, because you can convert this over into more of a 4-person dinette. But I haven't located it, so maybe it's not in here or is deleted. I don't know. It just feels like that's something that used to be there. And I used to be able to keep like every RV down by rote memory, but man, I see so many nowadays. It's really become so hard. Anyway, moving on from here, taking a little bit of a knee. If you look at you've got household outlets under here. You have household outlets under the overhead cabinet space, under the microwave as well. But the plug on the right, that's some of that new Starlink prep that more and more brands are starting to do, as that continues to be a thing. I think at this point, Elon Musk owns like 3/4 of the satellites floating around outer space around the planet. That's a weird thing to think about, in a way. Moving up from there, very off topic, moving up into the bathroom, you got triple drawers, not quite down to the floor because you have a heat vent below that, but a nice space for a wastebasket, even in the bathroom if you're so inclined. And this is also solid surface counter space as you step up into here. That is also a large medicine cabinet. I call that lipitorage storage galorage right there. And up top, before I finish the final step upstairs, it'll give us an easier angle to look straight up, basically. And I want to do it slow to not make you sick. The big XL rain sensing vent fan like you saw in the kitchen. Now, the headroom in this one-piece fiberglass molded shower is excellent. I do not have problems in here whatsoever. If you notice, it does have a folding seat, but it also is slightly recessed, I believe, below the main floor level. And that creates a mini tub kind of scenario where if you have a small dog or if you bathe in the grandbaby for the weekend, you got a little spot to do that. Also just helps contain splashing. The porcelain foot flush stool also has a soft close lid, which is something that I like. And then up here, this looks like a really big linen space. It's actually only one linen pocket, but I think it's enough. I don't know that I need more than that. That's enough towels for a couple people in this RV, I think. I think that'll work. This bathroom also does have speakers from their JBL sound system. So if you're like me and you like to just kind of put on your favorite music and relax while you're taking a shower. The irony with me is that my favorite relaxing music is like, whoa! And like everyone else is like, whoa, Josh must have had a bad day. And I'm like, nope, this is how I unwind. Oops. I didn't turn on the reading lights above the bed, so apologies there. But this is a Norco Exact Slide bed slide. One of the benefits of that is I think when the bed's closed, you should be able to utilize it for, you laying on it and sleeping. Now, you can put a 60 by 80 residential queen in here if you want, because you notice how the bed base doesn't stick out as far as the mattress. There's a wood deck under the mattress that is full width. So it's not like if you sit on the edge of the mattress, you just slump off the thing in the middle of the night. But you also have these mini side stands over here with household and USB plugs. I don't know this for a fact, but I have a working theory that if you were willing to delete those side stands, like remove them after the fact, because the factory doesn't do that, but like an aftermarket removal, which means you'll have to remove those power outlets there as well. You'll lose some of that wiring. I think you could probably squish a residential king in here of some variety, maybe like a smaller California king. Why does it look so dim up here? Hold on. I don't know. It looks a little better. I kicked on those reading lights above the bed there, but I think I'm running into a low battery situation. The RV has a lithium battery on it, and it has a solar package. That's pretty fair. But for an unknown number of hours before I got to this RV and this display today, somebody left all the lights on and the fridge on max cooling power, and we are indoors where no sun can get to the solar panel, and the lithium battery got munched. So yeah, we are working on a small limited power jump pack, and I think I'm depleting her as we go. Now, in case you're curious, these are dresser drawers on both the side and the back right there. So the storage kind of crisscross applesauce overlaps a little bit, but they didn't waste any of that space. You saw in our early flyby footage, that right there is a it's stackable washer dryer prepped, which is they changed around their front closet arrangement on this, which I think is the first time I've seen Alliance do that. Now that dresser top can actually flip up, which will be like just deep enough for like some jewelry, some watches, or something like that. Nice handy shoe garage right down below too. That is a very underrated feature. And if you lay back on the bed right here, one of the cool things, the TV is at a bit of a downward dog angle, so it faces straight at you. Okay, so I have verified we are approaching a low battery situation. And the power that I have available is low enough that I also can't get the slides closed for road mode for you. And what you're not aware of is that this is like late in the afternoon, evening. I stayed way late after hours in a display to capture the footage today. So there's nobody to call to get more stuff. And I'm not at my home dealership where I have stuff available. So what you perhaps are about to see is maybe the road mode footage from last year. It should pretty much be the same. A couple things might look a little different, but keep in mind, we're not technically looking at this RV here. And now remember, with the slide closed, this one does afford you the ability to sleep in the slide while it's retracted. Some brands do, some brands don't. Thankfully, that's becoming more of a talking point and awareness item in the industry. Kind of like for the longest time, like people were just very vocal about the fact that they just didn't really want carpet in RVs. And for the most part, carpet's pretty much gone out of RVs today. It's not 100% dead, but it's pretty much there. One of the cool things with this one though, it doesn't allow for like 100% access when the slide's closed. I don't know that I need that. For a quick travel stop, I don't know that I need that. It's not to say that there aren't benefits to it, but with the slides closed, I can still get to the bed, I can get to the refrigerator, I can get to the bathroom, I can use the critical travel access features that I need while I get there. And then once you get there, obviously when this thing sets up, it just sets up very, very nicely. So you appreciate all the extra little details that we throw at you. Hit that subscribe button if you're new with us, and let's go talk towing. Now, generally speaking, this size of this floor plan, so like the wide body, high profile, heavy, big fifth wheel version of this, there might be some single rear wheel 1-tons out there capable. I would feel, when you get up into a Paradigm, I just feel a heck of a lot better if you were going to partner this up with a dually. Now, what's kind of confusing is you look at this, and it's a very similar layout and size to something like an Eagle 321 or a Cougar 316, but they're not this size. This is bigger, wider, extra, basically, and it commands some weight as a result. Now we're looking at the base version of this, which just the standard exterior, I think looks great. They've got a really nice high gloss fiberglass, which lends itself very well to their optional paint packages that they also have available. Let's start kind of at the front, work our way around. You might notice that pin box hanging down there looking sort of like a praying mantis or something like that. That's the Kurt Helix pin box system. It has, a shock and a coil spring, and you'll see the same kind of concept and technology employed on the suspension of the RV itself. So they have, I like to see when RVs match the pin box and suspension, because I feel like those things are engineered to work together. And I'm sure it's fine if, you have system A from company A and then system B from company B. But I like it when stuff matches. It just feels like that's what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? These are, I mentioned inside, 101-inch wide body, so 8'5", 8'5" wide. This is also a drop frame front storage area right here. So it's kind of a Z chassis, not just a straight beam. They have it made to their own specifications. which is one of the reasons that these weigh a little bit more than a few other brands. And it creates not only a large cargo area, but also an opportunity for, first of all, I love how they moved all these switches up high. Secondly, I love that they include these because we have direct access switches to things like awnings and slides right here. Now, they haven't gone through and labeled these yet. When they leave the factory, they'll actually be labeled. This is just set up for quick display. And they're starting to do more Starlink kind of prep stuff here. Now, down below, you do have a gas grill quick connect. And this guy right here looks like a pretty industry common cold water sprayer port. It's the same hardware, but the plumbing inside is not the same. This actually does have a hot-cold outside shower mixer that feeds 3 different outside shower points. So you do have hot-cold outside, convenience. Now, we looked at the pin box. The suspension down there under that slide is very similar. It's not a independent suspension package, but it rides a heck of a lot better than a conventional leaf spring system. And it soaks up dramatically more stress and violence from towing as compared to a common leaf spring system. So basically what I'm saying is the suspension soaks up more of the rattling so that your floor, your walls, your cabinets, and everything in them, your roof, is not rattling as hard. And if you want to keep this thing held together longer, keep it from rattling as hard. That's all it really takes, you know. You do have the sewer hose caddy tube kind of mounted under there. You can sort of see it peeking through where the slide was. On the back, we do have our 3,000-pound towing hitch. The only real difference between a towing hitch and an accessory hitch are the lawyers, but this has a 4-way wiring harness and the safety chain hooks. That makes it a towing hitch. Otherwise, it's only an accessory hitch, even though they're the exact same physical install. They just have a couple different little treatments. So there you go. Now, they don't give you a specific backup camera prep. You see that little black plug up there under the marker lights? You can pop any backup camera you want. Now, it confuses a lot of people because they expect to pull that plug off and there's just going to be something inside that they plug a camera into. It's basically just going to be a wire that you splice into and then wire the camera to that. So some people get kind of tripped up by that. This, despite its size, is a 6-point hydraulic auto leveling system. When you are in this size of RV, you still run into a lot of 4 points. And once again, they do have that really mirror-like finish high gloss glass. And the nice thing about that is if you do get one of their paint packages, it won't look like an orange peel underneath. It'll just look really sharp and really good. Now, this baggage door, they make swing so that, you can have full, easy access to this huge belly storage area. Now, over here, bunch of stuff. We have another hot, cold outside shower. That's also where that water mixer is located. We have that water filtration system. You have your electronic dump gate valves in here, and they do have a manual override, by the way, just in case for some reason you lose power. You also have physical switches here for your bed slide and your kitchen slide, and your water manifold system. So every individual water fixture in the RV, you can shut off individually the hot and or cold water feed to it. Another thing related to water stuff, in a way, I suppose, is that this does have a single sewer outlet that you see down here. And it's little details like that. Every manufacturer and their brother makes a version of a floor plan like this because it's just one of those models where everything kind of lines up, generally speaking, in an intelligent way in the place that you want it, Now, what is it? I think it's... I'm blanking. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it wrong. So we're going to put it on screen here. The standard solar package on this versus the optional solar package so that you can kind of see it and read it for yourself, because I don't want to say that wrong and screw somebody up. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. The thing is, this layout is so popular, they kind of make a couple versions of it. The 340 is very similar in the living room, but the upper deck is kind of flip-flopped a little bit. The 370 is this, but it's a bath and a half, plus all the other different things that they make. It's a very popular arrangement. So they give you a couple options to sort of get it your way in Burger King, this sucker. To help you with all that, I will leave you a link in the video description, first of all, for pricing and availability on one of these, but secondly, to some of the other builders that I've seen make layouts like this to help you kind of cross-compare and decide which one works best for you. And short of that, before I get any further away from this thing that keeps getting smaller in the background, I'm going to tell you, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.